Our digital world is just swimming in information. Every single click, every post, every single purchase, it all has to go somewhere, right? But where? And how is it all managed so seamlessly? We're about to pop the hood and take a look at the invisible engine that powers pretty much everything you do online. Okay, so let's just kick things off with a huge example, Amazon. Just think about it for a second. They have to track product details, all our user accounts, reviews, purchase orders, credit cards. We are talking about trillions of individual pieces of data. So how in the world do they keep all of that organized, secure, and ready to go in the blink of an eye? All right, to really wrap our heads around this, let's compare it to something simple, your shopping list. That's a collection of information, right? Maybe 10, 20 items. If you lose it, yeah, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. But for a company like Amazon, their data isn't just some convenient list. It is the absolute lifeblood of their entire business. The scale, the need for security, it's just on a completely different planet. So the answer to this massive problem actually starts with a super simple idea, a database. At its very core, a database is really just any collection of related information. That's it. It's a surprisingly broad term. And you'd probably be surprised how many databases you interact with every day without even thinking about it. An old school phone book? That's a database of names and numbers. Your to-do list is a database of tasks. Heck, even the list of your best friends that you keep in your head is a kind of database. So things like the comment section on this video or Facebook's entire user base, they're just much bigger examples of the exact same idea. Okay, so a simple list is fine for your groceries, right? But it just completely breaks down when you're trying to deal with trillions of items. At that kind of scale, you need something way more powerful. You need a specialized system to manage the whole shebang. And that's where something called a database management system, or DBMS for short, comes in. The best way to think about a DBMS is as a digital librarian. It's a piece of software, and its entire job is to professionally manage this massive library of information for you. It does all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. So what does our digital librarian actually do? Well, its four main jobs are so common, they have their own little acronym, CRUD. It lets you create new information, read existing information, update it when things change, and of course, delete it when you don't need it anymore. These are the absolute fundamentals for any database. Okay, makes sense. We've got our library, the database, and our librarian, the DBMS. But what good is a library if all the books are just thrown in a giant pile? It's just chaos. This brings up the next obvious question. How are all these books actually organized on the shelves? Well, it basically boils down to two main ways of organizing things. The most popular one, by far, is the relational database, which organizes data into these nice, neat tables. Then you have everything else, which gets lumped into a category called non-relational, using more flexible structures like documents or graphs. For now, we're going to focus on the one you'll see pretty much everywhere, relational. And you know what? The best way to picture a relational database is just an Excel spreadsheet. Seriously, it's just a collection of tables, and every table has columns for different categories and rows for each individual thing. It's a structure we're all pretty familiar with. Like, look at this. It's a super simple table for students. You've got your columns for the student ID, their name, and their major. And then each row is just one student, Jack, Kate, Claire. See? It's clean, it's organized, and it makes perfect sense. All right, so the whole picture is really starting to come together now. We have the database, our librarian to manage it, and all the data is organized neatly into tables. But how do we actually talk to the librarian? How do we ask for something specific, like, hey, find me all the biology majors? You can't just ask in plain English. You need a special language. And that language is SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. You can basically think of it as the universal language for talking to almost any relational database on the planet. It's the standard go-to way to make requests. Now, when you use SQL, you write something called a query. And don't let the word scare you. A query is just a fancy way of saying a formal, structured request for some specific information from the database. Honestly, the best analogy is a Google search. You're asking for something, right? The only real difference is that instead of typing your question in regular English, you have to use the very precise grammar and vocabulary of SQL. And this is what it actually looks like in practice. Now, you don't need to memorize this or anything, but you can just see how it's a very specific structured command. It's literally saying, select the names from the employee table where their salary is more than $30,000. It's direct, there's no confusion. So let's circle all the way back to that trillion item problem at Amazon. How do they solve it? Well, It's this four-part punch. You use a database to hold all the info, a DBMS to act as the librarian, you organize all the data into neat tables, and then you use SQL to ask for exactly what you need. And here's the real kicker. This whole setup, it isn't just for mega corporations. It's the invisible engine that's humming quietly behind your social media feed, your banking app, your favorite game, your streaming service. I mean, it is behind almost everything in your digital life.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Go ahead, pick up your phone, and just scroll through your apps. Now that you kind of know what's going on behind the curtain, try to find a single one that isn't powered by a database. I bet you'll find it's a lot harder than you think.